Hello, and welcome to the Alert Youth Educational Workshop. Alert Youth is an awareness program made up of two components. The first component is the ID booklet, which is targeted to youth aged 9 to 18 years old. It is to be used as a reference detailing your physical and environmental information. The second component is the educational workshop, which seeks to cover topics that youth may be struggling with, such as substance use, gangs, teen pregnancy, depression and anxiety, runaways, bullying, internet, eating disorders, and relationships. The Alert Youth booklet is meant to provide your family, friends, and law enforcement with valuable information that could potentially be used for locating or identifying you if you ever go missing. This booklet is to be stored in a safe place with a trusted friend or family member. ChildFind will not retain any of the information. It is up to you to keep this booklet updated on a regular basis, so use a pencil when filling it out and let a trustworthy person know where it is located. The topic we will be discussing is eating disorders. Are you struggling with food, exercise, or body weight? An eating disorder is a serious mental illness characterized by eating, exercise, and body weight or shape becoming an unhealthy preoccupation of someone's life. It's an obsession with food, body, and weight. It crosses all ages and all genders. Eating disorders are not a lifestyle choice. You cannot tell by looking at someone if they have an eating disorder. Genes play a role in eating disorders. Families are not to blame, and a full recovery from an eating disorder is possible. Experts note that eating disorders are caused by a variety of factors, which include genetics, brain biology, personality traits, cultural ideals, and stress. Teenage girls are more likely than teenage boys to have anorexia or bulimia, but guys can have these eating disorders too. Although eating disorders can occur across a broad age range, they often develop in teens and early 20s. The different types of eating disorders include anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorder, avoidant or restrictive food intake disorder, rumination disorder, Pica, and other specified and unspecified feeding disorders. Anorexia nervosa is one of the three major types of feeding and eating disorders. It is a mental disorder characterized by extremely restricted eating, an intense fear of gaining weight, distorted body image, relentless pursuit of thinness, and excessive exercise. Anorexia has been categorized into two separate subtypes. There's the restrictive type and the binging and purging type. Here are some things to look out for: an obsession with food, social withdrawals, dizziness or fainting, dressing in layers, weight loss or lack of proper weight gain in children and youth, stomach pains, denies being hungry, avoids eating with others, and anemia. Bulimia nervosa is another one of the three major types of feeding and eating disorders. It's a mental disorder characterized by extreme overeating followed by self-induced vomiting, purging, or fasting, repeated episodes of binge eating, obsessive need to lose or control your weight, loss of control with how much you are eating, and low self-esteem. Bulimia can be very similar to anorexia, binging, and purging type. However, most individuals with bulimia maintain a normal weight or can be slightly overweight. Some things to look out for include tooth pain or discolored teeth, evidence of purging-like behaviors, weight changes which fluctuate up or down, inflamed and sore throat, severe dehydration, cycles of restricting food intake, cuts on hands or knuckles from purging, a large concern about body weight or shape, and complaints often of stomach aches. Binge eating disorder is the last of the three major types of feeding and eating disorders. It is a mental disorder characterized by eating unusually large amounts of food, eating when you're full or not hungry, eating alone or in secret, feeling distressed and ashamed, frequently dieting for possible weight loss, and eating fast during binge episodes. Binge eating disorder is the most common eating disorder in North America. Some things to look out for are weight gain, hoarding food, eating in secret, dressing in layers, social withdrawals, guilt or anxiety about food, avoids eating in group settings, and problems with interpersonal relationships. Those with avoidant and restrictive food intake disorder will become avoidant of certain foods, textures, colors, or have an extreme fear of eating certain foods due to a traumatic experience, such as getting ill after eating. This disorder usually occurs during infancy and early childhood and can become anorexia nervosa or bulimia nervosa. So you should look out for weight loss or not gaining appropriate amount of weight for their age, nutrient deficiencies, complaints of stomach ache, fears of eating certain foods, and food rituals. It's important to note that this goes far beyond picky eating in toddler stages and low food intake in older children. This also does not have a physical appearance aspect to it. Those with rumination disorder will regurgitate their food and re-chew or spit it out after eating. Unlike medical conditions such as reflux, this is a voluntary action. It can be a symptom of anorexia or bulimia. This may begin at any age. In infancy, it may begin at the 3-month stage and go away on its own over time. If it doesn't go away on its own, then it can become a serious issue. Parents should seek help from their family physician. Pica is characterized as a repetitive intake of non-food or non-nutritious objects. The most common items eaten are paper, dirt, hair, ice, paint, and gum, though it can be anything. This disorder is not diagnosed in children under 2 and is most commonly seen in people with intellectual disabilities. Generally, Pica is first diagnosed with testing for nutrient deficiencies and problems with the intestines. Treatment is usually aversion therapy. There is a high risk of infections, lead poisoning, and injuries to teeth. Apart from the mentioned disorders, there are many other eating patterns that are considered disordered. This falls under the other specified and unspecified eating disorders. Any type of eating that causes you distress or impairment is considered disordered eating. If the distress or impairment is significant, it can become an other specified and unspecified eating disorder or a less recognized eating disorder. Though sometimes thought of as less severe, research has found just as many youth are hospitalized for other specified and unspecified eating disorders as there are for anorexia and bulimia. Those that struggle with other specified and unspecified eating disorders have been found to have just as many eating disordered thoughts and actions as those who have been diagnosed with anorexia and bulimia. All eating disorders are mental illnesses. They are dangerous, and there are many common co-occurring issues: depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, history of trauma and signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, self-harm and suicidal tendencies. Individuals experiencing an eating disorder can and do have many complications: serious health issues, depression and anxiety disorders, suicidal thoughts and behaviors, problems with growth and development, both mentally and physically, social and relationship problems, substance use disorders, work and school issues, and death. If you suspect you are or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder, there are things that you can do about it. You can talk to a trusted adult, talk with your doctor, see a therapist. There are many different types of therapy that are out there that can help, medications, and treatment centers. You do not have to struggle alone. Try having some curiosity around what it might feel like to just be you. If you don't feel comfortable talking to someone in person, remember, you can always call or text Kids Help Phone. So who is a trusted adult? A trusted adult is someone who you have a good relationship with, you know them well, helps you and makes you feel safe both online and offline, never asks you to keep secrets for them, listens to you when you have a question or a concern, and they respect your body and your personal space. Thank you for joining us today.